Success. I've done it. I've started a live stream without having issues because I spent like the last 2 hours getting ready for this very moment right here. And look, I was going to make it a surprise, but I picture in picture. So you can see my smiling face as I paint some Leman Russes. I had this whole idea that I was going to, let's be careful where my hands go. And this whole idea that I was going to have it turned off. Look, I can turn it off and on. Like that. I was going to have it off, and then I was going to start it, and it was going to be a big surprise. But I completely forgot about doing that in the hassle of getting everything ready. But we're ready. We're ready, and we can get started. Pardon my excitement on that. This is Eagle Spire Gaming, and today we are painting some little tiny Leman Russ tanks. And I think I want to zoom this in more, maybe. Yeah. Get it nice and close there. And I hope that's not too shaky of a camera for you guys. It looks a little shaky on my end because my hands are on the table and my hands are shaky. And yeah, but we're gonna make these guys look like these guys, and except slightly differently, a little bit different. We can see there, already forming. And I feel like I was gonna. Oh, and we're gonna talk about Titan tactics for Titans. I got a little mark there that I was supposed to keep. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I wanted to keep that mark visible to myself so I know that I'm painting there, but I'm going to have to put the mark right here. Well, really more right here, I guess, or right there. That's where I need to keep things. Well, I guess we're at an angle, so the camera's up. Actually, you can see the camera. You can't see the camera. You can't see the camera because it's right here. It's black and it's blending in with everything, but it's there. Trust me. So how's everybody? Oh, and I have music, and I think the music is the perfect volume too. So we'll do that, and I think it should be a little quiet, but just loud enough. And I think I want to pull this down. I want to close all this, and I put this right next to that so that I can see these. Let's do that. So I can easily see these in case I need to. One of them. Oh, and we don't want to do that. In fact, let's just turn that off. There we go. All right, we're set. So we're gonna be doing, as you can see, this isn't one painting. As you can see, I have did a little bit of work on these guys. I got them all. I did the blue. So what I did for half of them, I remembered to I did this black, right? And I used my wider brush. Oh, hold it down. I used this wider brush to just go across the bodies, and I held it from the sides. And then I took them and I set them to the side, and I let them dry. And then when I came back, sometime later, many hours later, I came back and I hit these sides. And for the first 4, I painted the entire thing with this black Templar color. And then for the second 4, I went and I remembered to leave this space here. So for some of them, all I had to do was touch up the white before I got to the blue. But then for some of them, I had to completely do the white over the black because I forgot what I was doing. But it is it's going well now, and we've got the blue done on everything, so it's not an issue. Hello from the beach from Jessica. Hi, how are you at the beach today? It is a lovely day for the beach here, but I got an appointment in a few hours, so no point in even driving to the beach and enjoying it myself because I would just have to turn right back around and come right back. We are going to start with some lovely lead belcher. I don't think I normally start with a lead belcher. For most things, I usually start with the bronze color, but there's actually not too much on this guy that is gonna be bronze, so there's not gonna be too much of a need for. I'm not gonna start with bronze with him. All right, sorry, I had to mute the video there while I turned on the paint mixer. I figured you didn't want to hear all that. How's everybody doing today? Jessica's at the beach. Where's everybody else? it's pretty early in the day here for the U.S., so I imagine many people are still at work if they're watching from the U.S. So I'm guessing a bunch of us are not from here, but that's fine. I haven't done one of these. I haven't done a Leman Russ with a las cannon before, so I probably should have grabbed the Malcador so I could see how I paint the Leman Russes on those, or the las cannons on there. Starting early today. Yeah, well, I have an appointment today in the afternoon, so I'm not going to be able to live stream at the normal time. I made a post about it. I don't know if that was necessary or even effective to have that post. But if the picture, we're doing something new with that. If this picture-in-picture isn't in a good spot, let me know and we can move that over. I can make adjustments to that. But yes, we are starting early. It is necessary. And the fun thing for these is I did the first 4 Leman Russes, which I think were my first tanks for the Solar Auxiliary. I did a lot of silver trim on these guys. So we're going to be continuing that and doing a lot of silver trim on these guys. I hope that camera is good. You going to be able to watch, James, or are you going to be stuck at work the entire time? Going to have to go soon. So, Titan Tactics. That is what we are going to be talking about today while I'm painting things that are not Titans. I've been playing quite a few games of Titans, with Titans, against Titans, for Titans, by Titans. And there's still a bunch of Titans that I need to play more with. Titan weapons I need to play more with. Titan weapons I need to get. Titans I need to get. There's a wide range to go there. But I have come across and developed, I guess, some pretty powerful anti-Titan tactics and pro-Titan tactics. Is that the right way to say that? I don't know. And as I have played, it has come to my attention that basilisks firing either with the benefit of an artillery company or just with line of sight, firing on first fire, they are pretty good at getting rid of void shields before any of your more important first fire weapons, such as a Shadow Swords volcano cannon, or maybe even a Leman Russ's Vanquisher cannon, or Malcador's Vanquisher cannon. They both have Vanquisher cannons. Well, enjoy your lunch break. I appreciate that you have chosen to spend that time with me instead of focused on eating. But do make sure that you get enough food for energy. So, the Titans, the void shields go down to all of these. The big problem with Titan Hunter Company with Shadow Swords and their volcano cannon is you need to have them on first fire in order to get the bonus from the company, the formation rules, which those formation rules say that you get while firing on first fire, you get accurate, which means if you miss, you get to reroll to hit, which means you go from hitting on a 4 to hitting on a 4 with 3 to hitting on a 3 with rerolls. Very important, especially if the Titan is going to sit halfway out of line of sight, as sometimes happens. So with the reroll, you go from hitting half your shots to hitting 75% of your shots, something like that. If you're at that half, from there, James, if you wouldn't mind letting the others know if any of them are free and busy. They're probably not free. They're probably busy. That'd be awesome. So if you fire the volcano cannons, you're going to end up hitting Void Shield. If you're firing on first fire, there's always going to be a Void Shield there, unless something else goes before you. And I like to get rid of Void Shields with a nice unit of just las cannons. Leman Russes with las cannons, Malcadors with las cannons. Malcadors have more las cannons, so that's a solid option. And you get rid of all those Void Shields because las cannons, they only have AP1. Vanquish cannons, Shadow Swords, those are AP2. Basilisks are also AP2. But they're going to be on first fire. There's no reason for them not to be. They don't need to move into range. They just can hit from wherever. And they have a long range. Las cannons, they don't have as much of a range. So you got to drive up quite a bit closer. So you drive up, you can drive those guys up and get them into range to start doing damage in subsequent turns. But in the meantime, on that first turn, what you're going to do is you're going to hit them. You're going to hit them with these basilisks, and you're going to get rid of 12 basilisks hitting on 4s, hitting half their shots. You're going to hit 6 times. That gets rid of most of the voids. Then you've got at least 3 Shadow Swords. Depending on what you're shooting at, right? Different titans have different numbers of Void Shields. Your Warlord's going to have 8. But a Warhound only has the 2. A Reaver has 4. So you get rid of all these voids, and then you hit them with a Shadow Sword, and that kills 2 hits, kills a Reaver. It kills a Warhound, kills a Reaver. You need 3 hits to get the Warlord down. I think 2 hits to bring down a Warbringer, and 3 hits will also kill a War Master even. But you need to do more voids. So if you're shooting anything other than, if you're shooting a Reaver or a Warhound or Direwolf, you kill it in 2 activations, or maybe a few more activations if you have to hit. If you have one big blob of 12 Basilisks, you kill it in 2 activations. If you're shooting at a Warlord, you're going to have 2 Void Shields left, statistically. And then you end up hitting it with a Shadow Sword, and you do 2 more, because that's probably what you have on first fire. So you do 2 more voids. Two Shadow Swords, you're probably getting 2 more voids that way. And then the next one starts to do damage. The next detachment of Shadow Swords starts to do damage. That's a pretty efficient combo for killing Shadow Swords. Not Shadow Swords, for killing Titans. Throw in your own Titans with, your own Warlord with Bellicosa Volcano Cannon. Those do it even better because they have... They hit on 2s, and they have Engine Killer 4, so they do 5 wounds, and they have AP 5, so there is no armor save. It's a deadly combo, and the Basilisk can still do damage to other stuff. You can still shoot it at infantry, you can still shoot it at tanks, you can shoot it whatever you want, and it doesn't have to worry about getting into position or anything because it's going to be able to shoot anywhere on the board except for within those first 8 inches. So that is something I have, the theory was probably always there, probably always knew about that, but I have witnessed and experienced it firsthand now in a battle report that you will be able to watch on Thursday. Just how efficient of a combo that can be. Which then, of course, brings up, what are some other things that can take down Titans? Space Marines have their stuff is a lot shorter range, so I don't know that they really do it as well. And I still want to play around with Mechanicum more before I try to put together any kind of tactics for them like that. But Mechanicum anti-Titan tactics is their own Titans, so that's how they're going to be getting rid of them. And then you end up having, but yeah, Solar Auxiliary I think has with super heavies. I think that's what they're made for in a lot of aspects, because you get the Stormhammer with all las cannons. That's like 9 shots that can go into voids and take them out. I say 9 shots. They're not all, you get 2 of those are going to be AP 2 shots that you would prefer to go into the actual Titan. But that is a viable option for getting rid of voids. In later turns, you might not be able to continue putting things on first fire, either because you lose your commanders and you're not able to go into first fire, or just you can't rely on being able to hit something. You got to move. You got to get in position. The Stormhammer can get rid of the voids, and it has the wounds to survive. Some damage. Nobody's going to be killing a Stormhammer with a Vulcan Mega Bolter. It just doesn't do enough damage. So it has most of the trim done for that tank. So that was something that was on my mind for a while, and I just wanted to share with you all. Because it was right there. Surface thoughts, just easy to access, easy to get a hold of. But how's everything? Are we able to see? Is the camera doing good there? Yeah, looks good. So there is a new. We'll come back to Titans in a bit, but there is there's a preview that's going to be happening. Preview show. That they were talking about. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Post. Yeah, the big summer preview that's going to be happening Friday. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up, guys. Appreciate your support. So what do we think? What do you guys think is going to be coming up? I asked this in the comments, but I asked this in the community, and I've seen quite a bit of suggestions, wish lists, requests, pleads for Custodes. And I have been joking that I don't think it's time for Custodes, but I said the same thing about Saturnine. And then you know what they went and did? They released Saturnine right after I said that it was too soon for them. So here's hoping they do the same thing again. So I've seen a lot of comments asking, a lot of people talking about wanting Custodes, and not so much talking about demons. I think there's a conception that demons are going to be harder to do at this scale in the Horse Heresy setting, and I think they'd be really easy to do. But we can come back to that in just a second. Custodes, you get like 4 or 5 boxes of Custodes. Maybe 7. And I think they could be done really easy, and you could have a really good mix of units. So you get the infantry box, and that's going to have all your Custodes infantry, your shield bringers, your guys with the jump packs. I don't know the names of them. But your shield guard, your captain, your commander, your Contemptor dreadnoughts, and maybe you have 2 different weapon platforms for the Contemptor dreadnoughts. I don't know if they'll do a venerable Contemptor dreadnought, just because what is it? It's a veteran, so it's just a increase in the morale. Maybe there's a mechanic for that, but I don't think it's a new model. Prove me wrong. Go ahead and make it, GW. You won't upset me by making me incorrect on this. But they probably do it the same. It'll look similar to the Space Marine infantry box, where you've got dreadnoughts, and then you got a bunch of infantry, some with different guns. In this case, some with shields, some with spears, and then you've got your commander, and then you've got your jump pack boys, right? Except they're bigger because they're Custodes. They all have cloaks because they're Custodes. You paint them gold because they're Custodes, and they're stronger and better in every single possible way. Maybe they're all 2 wounds. I don't know. Actually, they probably won't all be 2 wounds. They'll probably just have better calf, and then maybe some of them have 2 wounds. Maybe the Terminators all have 2 wounds. I don't know. And then you have a box of the Telemon dreadnoughts, I think they're called. They're bigger, much bigger, so you'll have the whole thing for them. And then you've got I don't need to put my fingers down here because now you can see me on there. It's really cool. You get there's the 2 tanks, and then there's 3 transports. But one of those transports is just a Land Raider, so maybe they don't make a new box for that, or maybe they do. And one of those transports is a Grav Rhino. You could make a whole new Rhino kit with some Grav wheels to it or something. Instead of tracks, it's got Grav. That'd be cool. I might just convert some Rhinos just to be Grav Rhinos. But that's potentially 1, 2, 3, 4. Assuming the tanks are, let's assume that the tanks can be 2 to a kit, right? Custodes tank kit thing. I don't remember the name for it. And I don't know how different they are from one another. And then you get so the infantry, the Telemon dreadnought, the 1 tank kit, a new Rhino, and a new Land Raider, maybe. So that's 5. And then a Sisters of Silence kit that would have all your Sisters of Silence needs in it. It'd kind of be like an Infantry 2.0. And then you'd have, and you'd probably see some new stuff with that too, because I don't think there's a lot. I don't think Sisters of Silence have a wide range of stuff. I think they're fairly niche. I could be wrong. I'm going off of what I see, and I'm not looking into it and researching them a whole bunch. I'm more so just aware of their existence, I guess. And then there was one thing. Oh, and then the bikes. You get a whole box for bikes. So that's 7 kits. And then let's make it an even 8 kits. Let's make it 8 kits and add in something new that we haven't seen before, because why would they make they'd have to make it in, if you add a super heavy, it'd have to be a big super heavy for them. And it would have to have been Forge World resin. So they didn't make it. They never invented this thing, but there's a super heavy out there that's just a bigger grav tank that they could make. And I think they put that in there. And that makes 8 kits for the Custodes, and that's a similar number of kits to the Mechanicum. Dark Mechanicum and Mechanicum alike. So yeah, that's my predictions for them if they go that route. Which, as I said, it might be too early to do that. But last time I said that, they went ahead and did it anyway. So here's hoping they do it again. And feel free to tell me what you're thinking is going to be in there. We'll have a little chat about that. We can talk about their possible stats and everything. The other thing I'm thinking is I'm hopeful that there is infantry box 2 for all of the existing factions. Mechanicum getting Scutari, Solar getting Velatari with ranged weapons, Ogre and heavy weapon teams, maybe just heavy weapon teams. A little bit of ranged love for the Solar Auxiliary. We know they had it. We know it existed. We've never seen Ogren with heavy weapons in Horse Heresy, but we have seen them have that in 30K, in 40K. So why not? And but we know the Velatari had it. The other thing I'd expect to get, and then Space Marines getting Breachers, Terminators with either. Right now we have Terminators that have guns and a fist. What about your assault weapon Terminators? And what about your heavy weapon Terminators? So Terminators that are more focused on close combat and Terminators that are more focused on ranged. Both of those would be fantastic options. And then, like I said, Breachers and the heavy weapons. All the heavy weapons that Space Marines have that they don't have in this yet. Maybe some... I've seen people asking for the spoilers, which would be your close combat guys, but without jump packs. I don't know if there's enough distinction for that. Could be. I don't know what you would... I wonder if they would keep the let's also have dreadnoughts in there. And would they... would they continue that fashion and have more dreadnoughts in there? I don't know. I've seen a whole list of tanks that could go into this wave, this next wave. Which I thought we were getting pretty close to being done with tanks for Space Marines. But somebody posted like a handful of options. Obviously, Solar still needs some tanks too. They're missing a handful. Something for the light slot. And then super heavies with transport. I think there's like 2 or 3 super heavies with transport that could all fit in the same box. Just like Shadow Swords, Storm Blades, and Storm Swords did. So that'd be fun. And then we get to Knights needing armigers, plastic armigers. I have no armigers because I'm not getting... Give me some nice proper plastic armigers. Hopefully at a decent cost, because they're tiny. They're they're probably half the size, at least half the size of a Leman Russ. I actually haven't seen them in person at this scale. but they're pretty small, so they need to be plastic. They need to come in plastic. They need to come at a good price, and they're pretty good. They're pretty good. People like them. I would like to like them. I would like to have some for my armies. GW, if you're ever watching this, I would like to give you some of my money. Please make plastic armigers for us. It's been 2. It's coming up on 3 years. It's time. We need them. And I might be the only one that wants. I might, this might not be a very popular demand, but Emperor class Titan. Is it Emperor or Imperator? I don't remember. We need that. So, Titan Tactics. I like Warhounds. They are mobile. They can get up the board much quicker than the others. They get 2 guns. They're much cheaper than the other Titans. Makes them easier to get into a board. But they do not have much firepower. They're very lacking in that regards. They have to get very close. Your better guns at taking things on are very short-ranged. The longer the range of the gun, the less shots you have with it, or the less strength it has in what you're shooting at. So yeah, they're just, they're lacking in firepower. The 5 wounds is nice. A nice addition to the past. They still go down. They still go down when you hit them with 2 volcano cannons. Reavers, I only have 1. I need more. I want to try out some different weapon loadouts. Where'd the other one go? Let's put you over here. Let's put the finished stuff over there. And they have 3 guns now. For an extra 100 points, you get a whole new gun. And that's nice. Some of the guns aren't as good as others, though. Right? Like, if we take a look over here, if we look at the Reaver, as Crayola likes to call it, a Reaver Beaver, they have their top hat gun. They have the Apocalypse missile launcher, similar to how a Warlord has an Apocalypse missile launcher, but this one has half the shots. It's got a Vulcan Mega Bolter, similar to how a Warhound has a Vulcan Mega Bolter, but this one has 9 shots instead of 10. It's got a Turbo Laser Destroyer, though, and that one's just as good as the one that's on a Warhound, so that's good. The Titan Warp Missile, but you're going to need, and I think a few of these, the Vulcan Mega Bolter and the Warp Missile and the Graviton Eradicator and the Conversion Beam Dissilator. All of those are going to be, you got to buy them separately, separate weapons. But Warp Missile, once per game, absolutely annihilate a unit of super heavy tanks or something. That's pretty handy. Hits on 2s, AP3, Engine Killer 3, which means it does 4 wounds to it. So anything smaller than a Warhound, it's killing it. And then we have the Graviton Eradicator. That looks about the same as the one that you can get on a Warhound, and the Conversion Beam Dissilator. Again, that's the same profile that you hold on. Is that the same profile? Let me double check. Let's see, 242. It's worse than the profile that you get on a direwolf. A direwolf has two shots within 6 inches. Is 2 shots hitting on 3s AP2, and the Reaver has 2 shots hitting on 4s at AP2, and the the direwolf one has accurate on all of its shots, but the Reaver does not. Have I missed that? Is that? Hold on. That I wonder if the Legion Builder's wrong on this. Let me. Oh yeah, you think more Titans and Knights? Don't worry. Don't apologize for that. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, I got my Liber Strategica here. Oh, smacking the table. All right, let's see. I think it's right, but I'm just gonna check. Yep. The Reaver Conversion Beam Dissolutor is not as good as the. Where's the direwolf? Oh, it's right here. It's on this page. The direwolf, the one you get on the direwolf, much better. Much better indeed. So you get 2. You always get 2 shots with the Reaver, whereas the Warhound, the direwolf, it can get 3 shots at 2 of its ranges. Always has accurate. They both have Demolisher at the same ranges. This is wrong. So I'll let the Legion Builder app guy know. They have the same to hit stats at all ranges, so that's inaccurate there on the app. 234, 234. Yeah, otherwise they're the same. So the Legion Builder app is a little bit incorrect, but not hugely incorrect. Did I look at that properly, or did I make that up? Oh, he's got it hitting on 2s. Hold on a second. I think. Okay. Yep. Yeah, he's got it hitting on 2s at the closest range, and it should be hitting 4-3 too. And it should have more shots. No, wait. I'm looking at the wrong one. Okay, so he's got it wrong there, and then I'm looking at the Warhound. I need to be looking at the Warhound. Okay, well that brings up a new thing. The Conversion Beam Dissolutor on a Warhound is even better. Well, no, it has less shots, and it doesn't have accurate. So yeah. I didn't realize that the direwolf was so much better for this. There's a direwolf. Let me pull this up. All right, there is still a mistake on that. Cool. Now we know. So, Reavers. Careful with your top hat choice, weapon choice, because some of them are not as good. Some of those weapons are not as good as they are on other platforms. That doesn't make them bad, right? The direwolf only has the 2 guns, so the Dissolator is being better than a Reaver's Dissolator. It's the only gun he's got other than the Ardex Mega Bolter. So there's that. A bit of a difference in between the two. But personally, if I'm gonna be putting these guns on something, I kind of want to have the better choice for things. So I like the Turbo Laser Destroyer on a Reaver because it's it's just as good as it is anywhere else. And I don't have to memorize multiple weapon profiles where I'm thinking about like, oh, well, which one is this weapon profile? Is this the better one here or is it better there? Don't have to think about it. They do the same thing. As for the other weapons on the Reaver's arm weapons, that's where it starts to get some stronger stuff. You can have volcano cannons, melta cannon, melta lance, melta something something. It's called a melta cannon. So you give yourself a little melta cannon or a volcano cannon or Gatling blaster and laser blaster. The close combat weapons, the fists, those are, not, those are a little bit trickier. John's used it against me once where he actually was able to tear down the wall. So you really got to have like terrain that matters for this kind of stuff. So he was able to tear down the wall in a very spectacular way where he was able to, use that to then shoot at me a whole bunch. But most of the time, you're probably, you might be better off with just more gun, bigger gun, better gun. But they're still cool to have. Still cool to model. I've got the chain fist on my one Reaver. And I think a power fist would look really cool, especially with like that stripe pattern. I think it would look really, really awesome having one of those around. But other than that, I've got the melta cannon on it. And it's like, you have to get so close with it. I usually don't even want to take the guy because it's just, I kind of regret how I built him. The melta cannon and the chain fist just both want him to get close. And then once you're close, I can't shoot and stab at the same time. I could take down buildings. I need to use it more to take down buildings. But the laser blaster or even volcano cannon or the Gatling blaster, both of the, all three of those would be some really fun choices to have. And unfortunately, I think you got the other kit. The kit that I had for my Reaver is the wrong kit where it has a melta gun and a volcano cannon. Melta cannon and volcano cannon. One is long range, one is short range. Never gonna really make good use of those. So I need to get the other kit and have the right weapon. Then I can make whatever. And even I'm not saying the melta cannon's bad. You just got to get really close with it. And I kind of want something to shoot while I'm getting close. But how I like to use my Warhounds is I use them before I use one of the bigger Titans that might have some volcano cannons or, something that is able to take down the enemy Titan after I've gotten rid of his shield. I like taking down the shields with the little guys. A bunch of Mega Bolters on them just to get rid of all those shields. That's a great option. And the Reaver becomes a choice for taking out the enemy once you've gotten rid of his shields. If you give him some of those volcano cannons, or you give him a volcano cannon and a blaster, so that if you once you're out of Titans to kill, you aren't just stuck there with nothing to shoot. Two tanks a turn, not really that impressive to kill. Well, I guess they'd be big tanks, but what if the enemy doesn't have big tanks? You've killed a Titan, and now you've got all these volcano cannons, and all the enemy has is predators. There's not, those aren't really a great target for a volcano cannon. if they've got a bunch of super heavies, then it's an awesome choice to shoot at with your Reavers, with volcano cannons. But otherwise, you're going to be looking for something, with a little bit more volume to try and take out some of the smaller stuff. And then the other thing that I do with them is, I haven't done this with Reavers yet because I don't have the right Reavers for this, but you get a Warhound shooting at taking out the voids, and then you get a Reaver to land the killing blows. Or you can split that roll and have the Reaver, you chain off your attacks, right? So you activate a Titan, you get rid of the voids. You activate the next Titan, you get rid of the Titan with your anti-Titan guns, and you use your volume shots to get rid of the next Titan's voids. And then you keep going down the line, one Titan taking out the next Titan, one Titan killing a Titan or damaging a Titan. You want to go for kills, but so you take out the next Titan's voids and the current Titan's health, and you kind of split your fire that way. Or you get your Titans to be more focused, and you have one that's just for every Titan that's dedicated to killing another Titan that goes before him. You have a Warhound that goes before him to get rid of the voids. So what you could do is you could have two volcano cannons and maybe APOC missile launcher or some other gun, or turbo laser destroyer actually, and then you can focus on killing Titans with that Reaver, while before him a Warhound goes to strip the voids. And then if you do get a hit, that volcano cannon's engine killer 3, so it does 4 wounds, AP 4, so you put them on 6s. You got 2 of those hitting on 2s, so good chance that you do 8 wounds right there. Or maybe you only do 4 wounds. Maybe they save 1 or you miss 1. So you do 4 wounds. Well, then you've got the turbo laser destroyer on top. That's 2 more hits. That's 2, potentially 2 more wounds. Maybe only 1. That still kills a Warhound, though. Oh, yes. Yes. Thanks for coming. I'll see you next time. I kind of messed this up. I'm using the big brush right now to paint these things. I don't know what to call these. If anyone knows what these are called, let me know. But I'm kind of done with these parts on this one. And I need to do the trim, and I need a smaller brush for that. I guess as I say that, I realize there's more stuff for me to paint. So I guess I'll move on to the next guy, and I'll come back to get his details. I'll just paint the bulk stuff. Probably should be doing it that way anyway. That way I use this larger brush for everything I need to use it for before I move on to anything else. So next, as we go up the scale as we go up to larger Titans, we hit the Warbringer. Funny looking guy in between the size of a Reaver and a Warlord. And What did I call? Hold on, did I say the right thing? Warbringer. I said Warbringer, right? All right. Oh, I'm saying Warbringer now. So Warbringer has 6 wounds. So he's the same amount of wounds as Reaver. Or he is the same amount of wounds as Reaver now, because Reavers used to have 5. I don't know what these guys used to have. But he's got 2 more Void Shields than the Reaver. So he fits right in between the two. Right in between Reaver and Warlord. And so he doesn't have... Oh, I didn't realize this. I don't have one of these. I don't have one of these. I thought they looked... I didn't like the way they looked. I thought they kind of looked a little derpy. But I think maybe that was just the pictures I was looking at. I've seen one in person now, and it doesn't look too bad. It kind of looks like somebody took an artillery piece and stuck it on top of a pair of legs. Like not just an artillery piece, but like an artillery position, a large artillery piece. That's what it kind of looks like. So I see now it's got your typical defense weapons, your Ardex defense Mauler bolt cannons, and your Anvilus pattern defense batteries. Those are things that you see on the Warlord and the Warbringer. Not so much the Reaver. And then it comes with either a Quake Cannon or a Bellicosa Volcano Cannon. And then you get to choose 2 weapons between the Laser Blaster, the Gatling Blaster, the Volcano Cannon, or the Melter Cannon. And those are all the Reaver weapons. So it's the same. It should be the same weapons that the Reaver has. I'm going to assume that they're all the same. I don't know what comes in the box. So I don't know if you have to buy... you probably have to buy the weapons you want separately, which is unfortunate. But you can have 3 volcano cannons on this thing, and the top cannon is the Mori Quake Cannon or the Bellicosa Volcano Cannon. Those are Warlord weapons, so you can give him... He'll have 1 Warlord weapon and then 2 Reaver weapons. That's a pretty big weapon. It jumps up in power, right? The Reaver Volcano Cannon, they both hit on a 2. They're both 1 shot. One's AP 5, and one is AP 4. And the AP 5 one, the Warlord one, has an extra pip of Ancient Killer. That one shots a Warlord, a Warhound. 2 shots a Warlord. Two shots anything. Any Titan gets 2-shotted by a Bellicosa. Whereas the I guess they both 2-shot anything. But the AP -5 means the only thing that gets a save in the game against it is your War Masters, who have a 1-up save. So the Reaver Volcano Cannon is only AP 4. It's only AP 4, and it's going to hit. And I mean, only that still gives you a 6-up save. But against the War Master, it's only a 5-up save, which isn't that bad. 5-up is a lot more doable than a 6-up. So what you could do is, how I was saying earlier, you could have a couple of Warhounds, and they take down all the voids, and then you get one of these Nemesis Titans with nothing but volcano cannons, and you just, something's getting through. 2 of those you're probably hitting with 2 of them, or wounding with 2 of them. Like, I mean, they're 2-ups. You might even hit with 3. You could hit with none. That could happen. But you're probably going to hit with 2. You're probably going to hit with all 3 of them. And in that off chance that you don't hit with all three, well, they're probably going to fail them both. Or you're probably going to hit with all three, and they'll only be able to save one. They might save all three. It could happen. But they're going to be stressing out thinking about it. And somebody is going to target this thing hard. 525 points. So it's 125 points more expensive than the Reaver for that extra high-powered gun. You know, it's essentially for 125 points, you're getting 2 more void shields, and you're upgrading your top hat gun from a Warhound weapon to a Warlord weapon. So that seems pretty fair to me. Somebody is... Oh, cool. Somebody was in here for a quick moment and wasn't able to comment. They're on holiday, and they just wanted to say hello and that they had to go. So if you're watching this at some point in the future, I feel like your name is longer than M, but now it's only showing me M and A. What are these? What's wrong with these names? Huh. Is that a thing? I don't know. Is there something where people are reducing their Discord name to just one letter? I see that on like 2 different people's Discord names, but I'm not aware of it. Maybe it's just not loading for me. I don't know. Where was I? Oh, I'm sorry. I've been painting off screen again. Yeah, stop doing that. So, the other thing that you can do with your Nemesis is you just outfit it for taking on like all the other stuff, all the swarms and stuff. So you got like tanks and stuff, and you give it the Quake Cannon to slow things down and reduce their accuracy, or you give them like laser blasters and Gatling blasters. Probably the Gatling blasters if you're trying to shoot infantry, which maybe you don't want to do that, but walkers, things like that. Your lighter tanks, then a Gatling blaster, AP2, and that's going to be just fine, but you'll have an extra shot. I don't know if I'd give it the Melta Cannon, just because of how close you have to get with it. And it's very slow. It's very slow Titan. Even the Reaver, I feel, is just too slow to try to get into range with a Melta Cannon. So yeah, I probably wouldn't give it the Melta Cannon. I'd stick to either laser blasters or Gatling blasters. Blasters will put some pain onto tanks for sure. Just AP3, it's just the only problem is you're gonna need to hit them a few times to kill them if it's a super heavy. And those extra wounds of the super heavies, when the game first came out and super heavies only had the 2 wounds, like they could die so easily. And now it's like even after you shoot at them with you get 3 hits. Shoot them with a weapon that has 3 attacks or something, or a unit or whatever. It's just they're probably going to save one of them because they got a 2-up save, and then you're not going to do enough damage, which makes Mechanicum like really bad against super heavies because so much of the Mechanicum stuff is light AT, and it's just not gonna go. Just go in, but caught your 14-second oops or earlier. Oh, okay, yeah, I was So what you caught was me messing around with everything and trying to get the. I got picture in picture now. You can see me while I paint now. So all the times where I'm not, where I start painting up here or down here, isn't going to be so bad because you can at least see me. I don't know if that's a real big plus or anything, but yeah. How you doing, Roy? We talked a little bit about, and by we I mean me. It's been kind of quiet in the chat, but talking about Titan tactics and the preview that's going to happen this weekend, Friday, not this weekend. Looking forward to it. Can't wait. Friday has never felt so far away on a Tuesday. But they sometimes make us wait. Like sometimes, it's better than had they told us last Friday. Then we'd be waiting the whole 7 days, 8 days for it. Now at least it's only 5 days, 4 or 5 days away. I will probably be at the pool or the beach when that video happens. Probably just stay at the pool. Probably just say, "Hey, Dad Grammar, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a minute." Because you're so much further ahead in time zones, but now because I'm posting so early, you're able to actually participate. Awesome, and a salute back to you too. I don't know if you watch these after I stream them, but I got picture in picture now. I didn't have that before. Anyone that's new and doesn't know that this is new for me is probably like, why is he so excited about picture in picture? Because I didn't know how to do it. I'm like a child and I had to figure it out. That's awesome. Thank you. So if I start doing these earlier, you might be able to actually watch from time to time. The goal is I retire. I quit my job and I just stream all the time. That way everyone can watch. And I'll start a 24-hour live and I'll just always be filming. And then I'll be painting all the time and I'll finish all of my models. And when I finish all my models, I retire from live streaming too. That'll never happen because I'll end up buying something. Oh, thanks. I'm happy. Thank you for. Yeah, I am. It feels weird that I'm thanking you for that. I'm so excited that I inspired you to make more infantry. I've been thinking about it myself, and I think I need more infantry also. Custodes, plastic armatures, more Astartes variants, and Emperor class. Yes, all of those. I'll be a little upset if such a high focus on. Well, no, if there's Custodes, awesome. That's a win, right? If there's an Emperor class Titan, oh yes, please. If it's armatures, yes. Any of those, any combination of that, awesome. If all we get is more Space Marines, I'm going to be really sad. a third wave of only Space Marines is just going to be heartbreaking. Because all I can do at that point, and I love Space Marines, I'm gonna get them. I'll have Space Marines. Like, I will be buying the new things at some point. But as far as the other factions go, it'll just be, oh, more Space Marines. Well, the good news is there's only so much more. There's only so much more that they can continue to release before they run out of Space Marines, and then they have to update us, or they have to make plastic armatures, or they have to make if all we get is plastics is more Space Marines, it's just kind of, I feel bad for the other guys. I feel bad for the other people that want something else. More flyers. Oh yeah. You know what? I didn't say anything about Mechanicum flyers, but we need Mechanicum flyers. We need Mechanicum flyers. Greetings. No, we're still talking about Titans. We're going back and forth on it. It's kind of been all over the place. I've been excited about how I have picture-in-picture set up. We're talking a bit about the new release and stuff. It's actually been really quiet. The first hour was very, it was a couple of people I know in here, and they said a few things, but really, I like to discuss and have back and forth. I've been kind of just talking to the camera and hoping that people will, see stuff and be able to watch it, enjoy it later. But it's so much easier when there's people to like converse with and like answer questions on things, I guess. So I did talk. I opened up chatting about what was recent experiences. Oh, thank you for the likes. Recent experiences with anti-Titan tactics. And how brutally efficient it is to have basilisks and shadow swords. Shadow swords specifically being in a Titan hunter company, Titan armored company hunter, Titan anti. What's it called? It is called a Solar Auxiliary Titan Hunter Company. So just talked about that briefly. I can turn it off. But no one else has complained about it. So, and you've been in here the entire time and never hit. So, never told me anything about it. So basilisks are, quick recap, basilisks are able to hit anywhere on the board unless you're playing a very special board. Basilisks can hit anywhere, and you're probably giving them first fire because they don't need to move into position. You don't need to see where do I need to move, so you give them first fire. And your shadow swords in the Titan Hunter Company, they get accurate if they're shooting at a Titan and they have first fire. So the problem is the first shots of any turn that are aimed at a Titan are almost always going to be hitting void shields. And by first shots, I mean the first detachment, because it doesn't matter if you have las cannons to shoot the voids first, the Vanquisher cannon or whatever else is attached to that thing is going to be, that'll be taken off first, right? So the solution is basilisks are going to be able to hit the void shields, and if you have 12 of them, you're probably getting rid of 6 void shields that turn, that activation. And then if you have 2 or 3 activations of shadow swords scattered about, shooting over tall terrain, shooting over what terrain they can with accurate, you're probably going to get a few hits. You can take out some pretty powerful Titans turn 1 before they do anything. Unless I got my brush. Unless they are also on first fire, in which case you're not aiming for that one. You're aiming for the other guy that's not on first fire. So let's see. More flyers. Yeah, we need more flyers for Mechanicum. We need some form of anti-flyer for Mechanicum and Dark Mechanicum. I could see some of those things overlapping. I'd love to see some Dark Mechanicum flyers. I wouldn't mind if Dark Mechanicum had their own flyers, but also had access to Mechanicum flyers. That would be great. I don't see them doing like tarantulas. I don't see Mechanicum having different ones from Dark Mechanicum. I think those will just be the same tarantulas, right? Like, that makes sense. But maybe, you know how Sicarians can be anti-aircraft weapons? I see Dark Mechanicum having their own version of that. not Sicarian specifically, but like, this mobile platform or infantry unit or tank or whatever, a mobile thing that is only for Dark Mechanicum. It could be a Stalker, or it could be something new. It could be a Centipede or something. I don't know. And then you could have your own version, for Mechanicum. But I would like to see both of them. I would like to see the Mechanicum be more Mechanicum and Dark Mechanicum be more capable as complete factions, able to do everything. I don't want to see them as just support factions, which they've kind of made them to be a little bit of. Bringing Air Wars into the game would be great. People will be able to dig out their aeronautics goods. Yeah, I only have aircraft painted for my loyalist right now because I'm hopeful that Mechanicum gets some aircraft, and then I will have those be traders, and I'll have my loyalist, my Solar Auxiliary loyalist will have aircraft, and my trader Mechanicum will have aircraft, and I don't have to invest a whole bunch of money in aircraft for Trader Solar Auxiliary just to find out that now they have them for Mechanicum. As soon as I buy them, as soon as I start painting red and white aircraft for Solar Auxiliary traders, then they go and they release Mechanicum aircraft, and then I have to buy even more. Like, I don't want to do that. You're in your second month of painting Magma City walls and building. It's looking great. Probably 3 or 4 months, 4 more months of printing. Oh, you're printing them. I said painting. What? I'm assuming, okay, 3D print. So you got that from online. You're actually planning to buy your first Epic Scale Titans. Was thinking of going for the Warbringers to start with. Awesome start. We were just talking about Warbringers and how cool they are because they have I kind of don't like, I didn't like them at first and didn't think I was going to get them because I felt they looked kind of weird. They're kind of growing on me a little bit more. My opponent, John, down at Rules of Engagement, and my last game with him, he had his Warbringer. It did pretty good. He seeing it in person, I can see more that it kind of really looks like, it reminds me of a game called Iron Brigade, which had it was essentially these artillery pieces that were put onto legs and they walk around, and it kind of just looked like that. Yeah, they don't have, there's not a wall, there's not a good, GW doesn't have a good wall kit. If they did, I would buy it, but I may have to settle for 3D prints. So yeah, he uses it. An Imperator class Titan. Hold on a second. Here's my Warbringer. So okay, let's aim down a little bit. So an Imperator class Titan would probably be, this is a War Master. Imperator would probably be like this tall. Somewhere like that, which is, a little bit big for a 40K knight. I think a 40K knight is just about here. So, and some of this is, roughly this much of it is going to be like the citadel, the church on its back. So I don't think it's undoable. I think the problem you run into is, I think the problem for GW is you're only buying one. Most people are probably not going to buy two. Most people in the hobby are probably only still going to buy one of those, and that limits their ability to profit off of it. So they may not wish to make it. Having it be balanced will also be a challenge. It'll essentially become something that you either try to kill first turn, you either kill it first turn, or you ignore it. Because otherwise, it just would not be killable. And then how do I say? I don't know if you're still in here right now. I don't know if you can hear me. How do I say your name? Guy that's looking to buy his first Epic Scale Titan. I don't know how to read that, and I would like to be, as I address you directly, would like to be able to properly address you. And I'm not sure what that is, but so the Warbringer. Warbringer is pretty cool. They have, for 125 points more than a Reaver, you are getting a Reaver with 2 extra voids, and you get all the Reaver weapons for your main hands, and then you get instead of getting a Warhound top hat, you are getting a Warlord top hat. You're also a little bit slower. Your CAF remains the same, and your save remains the same. You also get a pair of defense weapons, of point defense weapons. One being Skyfire las cannons, and the other being essentially autocannons, essentially point defense autocannons. But 5 shots each. Those autocannons are actually AP -2. Those are good. Those are pretty good. So yeah. And then instead of Warhound weapons on the Reaver, the Reaver's top hat, carapace weapon. Those are kind of weak. Most of them are kind of weak. They're weaker than somebody's got some better version of it. The best one that isn't a downgrade somewhere else is the Turbo Laser Destroyer. It's just good. It's just a Turbo Laser Destroyer. A Turbo Laser Destroyer is a Turbo Laser Destroyer. So that is something to keep in mind and consider. But when you go to the Warbringer, you're not upgrading a lot of things, but you are upgrading that top hat into a better it's becoming a better gun. And then okay. How does this work when I talk? I think I don't know. Hey James, if you're still in here, how's the audio coming through? I moved my computer and I think I changed something. Complete set of knights alongside Dominus banner of 2 Augustus Astartes Warbringer is perfect. Uses long range platforms. No, they have slap a bunch of volcano cannons on them, and you're good to go. What you'll need is somebody to so the big Titan tactic I was talking about is, and this works. I haven't gotten to the Warlords yet, but this works for all your Titans, is your activation sequence. So what you do is you activate one Titan to attack the voids of your opponent's Titans, and then your next Titan is going to go for the kill. And the Warbringer with 3 volcano cannons, 2 of them being Reaver volcano cannons, one of them being the Warlord volcano cannon. You've got a pretty good chance to kill any enemy Titan that doesn't have its voids is dead. As long as you hit with 2 of those, or they don't save 2 of those. So if you hit with 3, and they're probably on a 6-up save. Unless it's a Warbringer, they're on a 6-up save. So just a powerful combo. And, you know, it's more volcano cannons than a warlord has. Or yeah, that's how I'd use it. I will eventually just left some freshly painted minis on your Reddit page. Glance at later. Yeah, I'll take a look at those. We also have a. I don't know. I guess you're the guy that's mentioning on my Reddit. I don't always attach names to people. We also have a. Do you have the Discord? Do you want the Discord? I can link that to you real quick. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, guys. I'm gonna have to say that again because I think there's only 2 people in here right now. What is a Dominus banner? Am I not thinking about that? The Mori Quake Cannon is not as good against Titans. It does, because it's a blast 5. It's only 1 shot, right? So if they have a void, if they don't have a void shield, yeah, it gets through. It's AP2. It hits on a 3. It's probably not going to do the most damage. It'll do some damage. It'll do 1 point of damage, right? But what it's really going to do is it's going to slow the enemy down, and it's going to cost them a move speed, right? They're going to not a move speed. It's going to cost them. It'll give them a penalty to hit until the next time they shoot, and that's not bad. That's not bad, but you're now not killing the. You're not killing the enemy Titan. And a bunch of Titan weapons already hit on. A bunch of the really powerful Titan weapons are hitting on 5s, or not 5s, 2s. So now they're only hitting on 3s. Like that's not as big of a difference. But if you use it against tanks, let's say you use it against Leman Russes, you could kill a few Leman Russes with it. And the ones you don't kill, well, they just went from hitting on 4s to hitting on 5s. That's a lot worse than going from 2s to 3s, or 3s to 3s, even 3s to 4s. So Titan, the big dangerous weapons on Titans, the anti-tank weapons on Titans are going to be 2 and 3 to hit. The occasional 4 with accurate. Wipes out infantry, wipes out swarms of tanks. If you use it on super heavies, and stuff, I mean, that's always nice to, you know, they'll be slowed down or they'll be -1 to hit. Dumbest main. Okay, but okay. So you're naming the banner. You're naming the banner Dominus. All right. I was trying to think. I was like, I don't think there's. I didn't recognize what that was. Because the lance, they don't have that as a lance. I would love to see the Dominus. I'd love to see the Dominus in Legions Imperialis. I think it would look great at this scale. I think all of them would look great at this scale. I'd love to have them all, but I'd definitely be good against knights because knights like moving fast. So slowing them down would be pretty good. You're not gonna. I don't know if it's the right choice against Titans. I don't know if it scares Titans that much. I've only fought it once. And I did consider. Getting one for my Warlord Sinister. I ended up going with the macro Gatling cannon instead because it was. I liked its damage output. Obviously, not an option for the Warbringer. It depends on what you want to do. If you give the Mori Quake cannon to your Warbringer, and you do go with 2 volcano cannons, which is an option. You don't have to only do that. But if you did that, Titans can split fire. So you can, if you don't want to shoot it at a Titan, if you want to shoot it at something else, you still have 2 volcano cannons. Like, that's still pretty good. So it's not a bad weapon choice. It just changes what you're going to be using your Titan for. You're kind of splitting his role a little bit more. He's going from just being a pure, this is what I'm going to use to kill Titans. This is how I land the finishing blow in Titans. So now he's doing the finishing blow, but he's also firing at something else. Hey, stay out of the camera. Hi. How are you? Awesome. They just got back from the pool. I did not see her sneaking up on me like that. Completely in a swimsuit, too. Yeah, I think it's a good choice. And, maybe 3 volcano cannons is too many volcano cannons, like, bit of an overkill. But you're going to have those times where you're going to get a 1, where you might miss with 1, you might miss with 2. So, having extra volcano cannon, having extra volcano cannon isn't bad, but being more optimized with your weapons and having something else for him to do isn't bad either. For example, you can take a Warlord with 2 volcano cannons and you can strip the voids off of 2 Warhounds, and then you can with something else. But then when you fire those volcano cannons, you can shoot them, 1 at each Warhound, and you can one-shot both of them. Or you can really focus on one, overkill it, but now you know it's dead. It's a little bit harder to set up the double kill, but I think I'd go for the double kill. And how you could set up the double kill is by having another. You could either have Warhounds do it, but then you need 2 Warhounds to do it, or you have another Warlord that has some other guns that aren't the volcano cannons, and the Apocalypse Missile. Oh no, that wouldn't really. You wouldn't be able to get rid of both of them though. You only get a hit twice per each. So I guess you could split fire. Or a Reaver. Reaver with Gatling blasters and maybe an Apocalypse Missile or turbo. I mean, anything on the Reaver is outside of more volcano cannon. 2 Gatling blasters will definitely do it. You just need 2 hits. I like using, and this is where you get some basilisks to do it for you. Get some basilisks. Hi, how are you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't come into this area in a swimsuit. Let's see. What was I about to look up? Reaver. Yeah, laser blaster. I mean, you'll probably 2 laser blasters. They only hit on 4s, so you'd have to go with a Gatling blaster. 2 Gatling blasters on a Reaver, and maybe some other top hat weapon to complement it and ensure that one goes down. Either of those, anything. You just want to try to do it in 1 activation. Or you do it with some first fire activations and you have them already taken care of before the Warlord goes. Maybe the Warlord isn't on first fire. but you could do this all on first fire. How's the connection? Are we doing all right? I see. I feel like I see. There's a little number up here that tells me there's a number right here on my screen. There's a number right there that tells me how many people are in here, and I see it drop down, but I see it drop down to 0. But then it seems like you guys are still in here talking, and I'm just wondering, like, I've always wondered about that. Like, is that maybe it's not the most up to date? Like, maybe if the connection is a little spotty and it kind of like robots out or something, maybe that number drops down to 0 when that happens. I don't know. Have you guys noticed like some gap in the connection? I don't really. Hey, what's up, Evil Cuz? How are you today? As always, I am taking questions. We are talking about Titan Tactics, but also the wish listing / predictions for this Friday's reveal. So far, a lot of Astartes and Mechanicum and Custodes. Not so much for demons. No love for demons. I think demons would look, all things aside, I think demons would look really good at this scale because you could have so many of them. I remember reading Legion of the Damned. Fantastic book, in my opinion. I may not be the best judge of books, though. But Spider-Bots, I didn't see specifically any requests for Spider-Bots. And you could just make up Spider-Bots, right? Like, there's not a huge... a lot of the lore for that stuff, like, kind of left out names and left out descriptions and just like, oh, this horrifying thing. But yeah, they could definitely make some Spider-Bots. Make Spider-Bots for days. I do want to see some balance to those archers. Those feel so weak. Some of the bots feel really weak. If you're asking for me, for my opinion, for my take on them, I do not think that they're balanced. Domitus also feel really underpowered for how much they cost. Just a really expensive missile launcher with 2 wounds. Like, yay. And an invuln save. And no morale. That's nice. That's nice, but I only care about morale when I'm dying. I only care about morale when everyone else around me is dying, and then, I've got other issues. So, yeah, demons would look... I think demons would be really good at this scale. Archers are fine at 35 points. I feel like I've had that conversation before. Are they 35 points, though? The issue is... Here's the problem with Spider-Bots, even at 35 points. And they are 35 points. The problem with Spider-Bots at 35 points is I don't have anything. They're light AT. What do I have to take out tanks? I don't have anything to take out tanks with Spider-Bots. I have Overlords who have a 15-inch gun, but, like, what do I have to shoot tanks with at 22 inches? Because a Malkador, a Leman Russ has a 30-inch 30-inch or 32-inch has this Vanquisher cannon that's just doming me from across the board. 32-inch range. And what does it have underneath that 32-inch Vanquisher cannon? It has a last cannon. It's hitting me at 22 inches. And what am I returning fire with? Light AT. So 3 shots that have no AP, and you're on a 2-up save, and I'm on a 4-up save that gets nerfed down to a 6, and I need to re-roll, and like Spider. They might be good for their cost, but they need something to back them up. They need a buddy. They need a buddy with a better gun. Not to complain, just observation. Oh, I missed something you said there. It's trickier with the warlords. You can't see any in stock at the moment. There are war masters, but they're kind of overkill for your setup. A little bit, but let me tell you, man, those war masters are beautiful, and they are powerful, and you only need one. Where are you trying to get a warlord to? And I don't know if you saw it. I tried asking what your name, how to say your name, or how I should address you, because I don't know how to read all that. I guess I could try to put it into. Can I try and put that into a translator, maybe? And I don't want to be disrespectful, so let me see. Maybe I can translate. Oh, that's how you spell Vladimir? Yeah, bigger spider bots would help, and not just like overlords, right? Like overlords are nice and big. Just like a bigger gun, because overlords are unwieldy large. I love them. I love overlords. I've got 8 of them. I just don't really see myself getting more because they take up so much space, and as fun as that is and everything, it's just kind of, I like having a lot of stuff. I don't know, like I'm kind of I don't have 8 shadow swords. I don't have 8. I don't have 8 of anything until I have 8 of these guys, Leman Russes. But I think it looked. I'd like to see something else. Like what else you got? Like don't give me. I don't want to keep seeing the same thing over and over again. I do probably need 8 butchers, which is a lot of work, and will absolutely flood my. If I go and get more butchers, I will absolutely flood the table with more heretics than I. I think I'm probably close to even heretics and loyalists versus traitors. I think the addition of all these titans that I've done and the shadow swords really balances it out. I think if not, maybe I've already passed them. I don't know. I haven't tallied it up recently. They, however, are I know that box of spiders. I know it has a lot in it, and in part because the Cyclops is so expensive. But yeah, I think I would really shift the. I don't think it would shift the tide on like who's winning. When we do the next big battle, but it would definitely put the traders back in the lead for back in a huge lead for how much stuff they have. Titans seem to turn up the local shops via rather roundabout routes from time to time. If you heard where correctly, it's the option of buying cast ones made from resin on a photopolymer. Oh, but I'm a bit worried about the quality of the casting. I bought a cast. I bought a cast Titan weapon, the macro Gatling blaster. I had to buy that, and they weren't GW didn't have it in stock anymore. So I went ahead and I bought it online. I went to a local shop that has everything. They always have everything, and even they didn't have it. It's not a GW shop. It's a hobby store that just their process for profiting in the hobbying world is to just own everything, have everything for sale. They've got they've got kits from third edition 40K still in there. They also sell like model trains, they sell model airplanes, they sell RC cars. I think they sell airsoft guns. Like they just sell everything. And they didn't have Titan weapons. So and nobody there plays Legions Imperialis unless you count me, which I don't play it there because nobody else plays. And every time I try to ask, like, hey, anybody want to play this game? And I tell them it's epic Horse Heresy. People will be like, oh, yeah, I've been thinking about doing that. I still have a squad that I need to paint up. And right then I know that they're talking about 30K because you never have a squad to paint up. You have a box with 50 squads in it, right? Yeah, so I had to go ahead. Sorry, huge tangent. I had to go ahead and I got a cast one that was made, and I want to say it's good. It came out good. It came out with good quality and everything, because it wasn't damaged. It wasn't like all pieced up or anything. There weren't holes in it or anything, but it had it was completely warped, and I had to like struggle to get it to straighten up, and I got it as good as I can, and you can't really tell that there's a problem with it unless you know what you're looking for, I think. So yeah, no, I get being worried about the quality of the casting. If I had the option to, I would have just bought it in plastic. I think the quality, the resin, the nature of the resin, even if I had bought it from GW Direct, I'd probably still have an issue with it. Like there'd still be that issue of like resin just is, it's supposed to be higher quality, but it just always has some flaw with it. It's always warped or something. You plan on getting your hands on weapons for the Titans by any means necessary. The plan is to magnetize them rather than just leaving them as a single loadout. It's a good plan. It's a good plan. Definitely you should magnetize them. I don't magnetize because I fell out of love of magnets. I just don't like the magnets anymore. I have a bunch of magnets and they were falling apart on me. The shell around the magnet itself was kind of just breaking apart and stuff. And then the things that I have that are magnetized, they break out of the casing that I put them in. They break out of that, and I stopped liking. I don't want to use them. So I'm going a more expensive route, and I don't dislike people that magnetize them. I have no thoughts on it. Magnetize it. It's just not for me. I'm not a fan of when people tell me like, oh, you know what you should do? You should just magnetize your Titans. I don't want to magnetize stuff. Like, I don't know. Why is that so hard to get? It's not for me. Hey guys, what do you think of this weapon loadout? Just magnetize it, and then you don't have that issue. No, I don't want to magnetize. Please stop asking me to magnetize. I had some people that were really adamant that I should magnetize. If you can't tell, some people get really upset about that. Some people get really upset that I don't magnetize my weapons like they do. Oh, I need to remember to paint up here. We're getting to the point where I'm almost done with the easy stuff. It's going to be the hard stuff coming up. I'm not a fan about that. Evil Cuz is thinking about getting 4 more Mastodons to give you 8. Evil Cuz, I gotta know. You need to tell me. Please still be here, still be listening to me, and give me an answer to this. Is that for one legion, or are you making multiple legions? I have follow-up questions. Please be on standby. Vladimir, can you order warlords from the store? Can you order them online? Just for Night Lords? Ooh, Night Lords. Dude, I need to see pictures of your Night Lords. I love Night Lords. I love the way they look. I have a friend who was really big into Night Lords. He moved away, and I didn't. This was like before cell phones, and I lost contact with him. I hate Night Lords as traders. I love the concept and the idea of them, and the color scheme and stuff. I love the appearance of them. I guess is what I'm saying. Um, what follow up question? What are you planning on putting in them all? I need to remember I have an appointment and that I'm gonna have to leave for. I need to be at in 2 hours, so I can stick around for another hour and a half ish. Magnets offer a bit more tactical freedom. Yes, Titans are on sale, just like the LSF in general. GW has officially withdrawn from Russia, but they haven't lost their market. Oh, so GW doesn't send them there, but like they still end up there somehow. Um, good. Oh, aim it up a little bit. Oh, I love that focus. Love that that's working. So I'm probably gonna have to do more to the trim and everything on this guy. We'll see how it ends up looking. I haven't figured out how I want to do it yet, but I know I want to base coat it metallic for now, and I will revisit that later if I want it to. If I need to, those coils will probably end up being blue, so I'll probably end up painting them something else, white first to get them over it. But yeah. Yeah, no, like you're saying, magnets offer a lot of flexibility of choice and stuff. Um, and a lot of people should definitely use them. Just not for me. And I have used them in the past. So these guys here, that is a light AT weapon, so it's good at taking out infantry. So I give it the stubber because if I'm already shooting at infantry, you know what's better than shooting at infantry? Shooting at more infantry. So yeah, I will put in there. So warlords, we hadn't gotten to that one yet. Warlords are like bigger war bringers, but not because war bringers are like smaller warlords. You get some defense weapons. You get 2 defense weapons actually, just like the warbringer does. I think the warbringer has the same. I think the warbringer, the warbringer has the same defense weapons. Are they the same stats though? They are. I need to. No, it's not the same weapons. It's not the same weapons because the Warbringer has an AA gun, and the Warlord has a las cannon turrets. But they're 16-inch las cannon turrets, and they are rear arc. They face to the rear, so that's terrible and not fun. But the the Warbringer has better. All of it, it's got a slew of carapace weapons. The Apocalypse missile launchers you'll remember from the Reaver, but these ones are. It's got all the shots. It's got paired. Everything's pretty much paired. So it's got Vulcan Mega Bolter, but it's got double the shots. It's got of a Warlord, Warhound. It's got paired laser blasters, but it's again double the shots. It's 8 shots instead of 4. It's 4 shots instead of 2 for the turbo laser destroyers. It's 20 shots on the Vulcan Mega Bolters, which is just wild. It's 6 shots instead of 3 for the laser blaster. Like it's just everything's doubled. Everything's doubled. Everything's better. And then you get 2 of your main weapons, which again, a huge number. There's like 8 different weapons here. Comes in 2 different kits. There's really only you either get 2 volcano cannons or 2 Sunfire plasma annihilators, but also a power claw, which is kind of nice. The power claw works in melee and has a gun on it, so it can do both. Where is that power claw on here? Yeah, so it's got 2 profiles. It's got it gives it Ren, gives it Engine Killer 1, gives it Wrecker. But it also has a light AT weapon on it with 8 shots, and it's kind of like a crappy. It's kind of like a crappy version of a Mega Bolter. And it really is all it is. It's a slightly crappier Mega Bolter, but with less range, less shots. Everything else is the same though. So, and then the rest of the guns you have to. The rest of the guns, of which there's let's see, there's the Quick Cannon, there's the Macro Gatling Blaster, the Volkite Destructor, there's a Conversion Beam Extrapolator, there's a Warlord Graviton Ruinator. All of those you have to get separately. And some of the top guns you have to get separately too. It only comes with the laser blasters and the depending on which kit you get laser blasters and you get apocalypse missile launchers. So a lot of options for them to make a new kit for this and make those weapons in plastic instead of having it be a separately sold thing. Oh. Okay. So potentially at some point they'll come and you just have to hop on it quick before everyone else picks them up. So those weapons deal all kinds of damage to all kinds of things. Against Titans, after the voids are gone, those volcano cannons are death. But you'll need something to get rid of the voids, and that's where the apocalypse missiles or using some other Titan to do the dirty work for you comes into heavy play. Volcano cannons are also going to be really good against super heavies. It's a little bit of an overkill against the super heavies, but it is an option. After that, it starts to become really garbage for targets. You definitely don't want to shoot. You shoot infantry with this, and it's not going to have a save unless it has an invul save, or it's in a building. You shoot lighter tanks that don't have multiple wounds. Just you're wasting a lot of firepower there. At that point, you want to have something more like the Sunfury Plasma Annihilator, much shorter range, triple the shots. Gonna be great against any of your light tanks or your infantry, because it's got more shots and it's got the AP to do it. But as we go down the line, you have more range and more shots for other guns, right? I picked the Macro Gatling Blaster for my Warlord Sinister because it has 5 shots at 35 inches, and it's rapid fire. So I could get more shots. It hits on 3s, so I'm going to get a good volume of hits in, and it has AP2. Not great against Titans because they're going to be saving on 4-ups, 50% chance to save. But still not bad against Titans. It's still a 50% chance to fail. Not so good against a War Master who would be saving on a 3. But I felt like it was a pretty good balance. I could unload it into a bunch of infantry to kill, 3 or 4 guys, and maybe they run. And if I'm shooting a bunch of infantry with them, I'm probably going to kill them, unless they have an invul save or a 4-up save. Even a 4-up save, though, not a great chance to get 6s on those. When I play 40k and I have like a unit of 20 guardsmen, I feel confident about getting a couple of 6s for an armor save, because I'm probably rolling a bunch of dice. But when I only have like 4 Terminators, I'm not so confident about getting any 6s with that. And then we have, we talked a little bit about the Mori Quake Cannon, and not exactly what you want to shoot at a Titan, but there is value to shooting at a Titan. Better against a bunch of tanks where now they're going to be hitting on the more shots you're affecting, the better. And if it was something that was going to be hitting on a 4-up, now it's hitting on a 5-up, that's really good. If it wasn't going to hit on a 5-up and now it's hitting on a 6-up, that's even better. For the same reason I was talking about not making those 6-up saves. when you only have so many dice, it feels harder. So I guess it's not scientific fact or anything, but it feels harder to get those sixes. It feels less likely to get it. It does feel hopeless, and that is because sometimes it's because you will have that different. It's only a 16% chance, and if you're relying on hitting a whole bunch with something to get the numbers through, you're going to be hitting a lot less when you are now hitting on sixes. I haven't looked much at the Volkite Destructor just because you have to get it secondhand. You have to get that. It's one of those special weapons. You could probably get back something. It doesn't come in the box. It's only 16-inch range though. It does have quite a few hits, quite a few dice, and it's a beam, so it's going across a bunch of other people. The more units you can hit on it, the better. On a 5-inch, on a move 5 Titan, I just don't want to try to rely on that. Like, I don't think I'm going to be able to position myself properly to get a lot of units under that beam. And I can use that on a Warhound. I can put that on a Warhound. It wouldn't have as many dice, but it would certainly be more capable of getting a couple of units under it. And you can give it 2 of them. And you can give this 2 of them, but then you're really not shooting that much outside of 16 inches. Like, if you're going to give it a Volkite Destructor, you probably also want to give it the you're probably also thinking about giving it that Power Claw, because you're probably going to end up getting into close combat with something. Both have the roughly similar distance. The beam is light AT, so you're more likely to be shooting it at cavalry or infantry or walkers. And that's what the Power Claw wants to be shooting at also. You're not going to be taking out tanks or anything with this. It does have Shield Bane, but you're only getting 4 attacks, so you're only getting 2 hits. So you're probably not doing a lot of Shield Baning with it. If you can pass it over a round, sure, that's an option. And then the last one is the last weapon that I don't think. Oh, well, we didn't do the Conversion Beam or the Graviton or the. Oh, the Macro Gatling Blaster is the last one. I thought there was another. Weapon that wasn't the Macro Gatling Blaster, but a similar weapon. Huh. I wonder if that's only for the Sinister? That can't be right. No, the Macro Gatling Blaster. Okay, I must be thinking about like laser blasters or something. I must be thinking of when I'm trying to find it on the rules and I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, you definitely got to put it all together and paint it up. Do I think GW will rebalance the Titan weapons and increase the range on Volkites? Ooh, good question. I don't know. Because balancing is really hard for Titans because they're supposed to be these like mythologically strong things, right? Like they're supposed to be very powerful. And you either end up, when you do that in a game, you either end up creating something that is, for balance purpose, it either becomes so hard to kill that it's just not worth it killing it, and you just ignore it and you accept that anything that's near it is going to be shot at and killed, or you have Oh man, I don't remember what I was trying to say. Oh, hold on, let me. All right, sorry, didn't want you guys listening to that ad. All right, so you end up making it, or you make it. All right, so you either make it too hard to kill, and now people just ignore killing it, or you make it too expensive, and now you can't really play it with anything else. Um, and then there's this there's a disconnect between what is fun to have on the table and what is lore accurate. Um, if you needed 10 warhounds to kill a warlord, because that's what the lore says is accurate. I don't know how many warhounds it takes to kill a warlord. It might not be 10, but just work with me here. Um, that's not really going to be fun, right? Uh, I think the weapons, you have to be able to kill them. You have to be able to kill titans. Otherwise, you just don't kill titans and you just ignore killing titans, right? And that doesn't work for a game where sometimes the only you have to sometimes the only thing the enemy has titans, so you have to be able to kill them. Um, so that leaves weapon balance. I think some of their weapons do need to be fixed. I know this. Looking at Warhound weapons, some of them are just I would never, why would I take that? It's too painful, right? Too painful to take. The Natrix Shock Lance, uh, one typically on these weapons, as you get closer to the enemy, you do more damage, right? So Vulcan Mega Bolter and the Swarmer missiles, they are identical in stats, and their ability to kill something is identical per dice. The difference is one of them at a further range can still shoot. And for that trade off, it has 2 less attacks. You have to get closer with a Vulcan Mega Bolter, but you get 2 more shots. So it does more damage, right? They do the same amount of damage per dice, but it has more dice, so it does more damage. Turbo Laser Destructors, with a different stat line, it's not as clear. It's not the same stat line, but with more dice, with different dice at a different range. But so it works differently, which is fun and interesting. It has 2 shots, hits on 4s, AP3, accurate. The Plasma Blast Gun has an extra dice, hits more, hits on a lower dice number, but doesn't have accurate, and has half the range. It does more damage. You have to get closer, but it does more damage. Not a huge amount more. And in a fun twist of one has accurate and the other one doesn't. The But then you get to the Ursus Claw, and the Natrix Shock Lance. You have to get right up on top of something, and it does 1 damage. That's it. That's all it does is 1 damage. Ursus Claw has Impale, which I don't remember what that does exactly. And the Natrix Shock Lance has Shock Balls. So it can shock something, but it's just too close range with 1 shot. Like you could roll, you get shot up getting into 6-inch range, and then you fire the gun and you get a 1 and you miss. That could happen. It just, I don't. It feels bad. Like maybe it should have a next. It either needs more range or it needs another shot. Like that thing could have more dice to it, and it'd still be fine. Um, the Ursus Claw, maybe it needs Engine Killer. I don't remember what Impale does. Maybe Impale is Engine Killer. I don't remember. It has a special for the AP. I can't tell you. I think there's I think they roll calf against each other or something. I can't remember because I don't. I have no desire to use it. The Melta Lance. I think the Melta Lance should also probably. It's just. I mean, Engine Killers 3 is nice and everything. It just feels like you got to get really close again, and it does. It has one chance to hit. I don't know about that. Maybe the 14-inch gun needs an extra dice, or probably both, possibly both. I feel like you should be rewarded for getting that close to it. You should be doing more damage. This thing costs 300 points. It can kill. It can one shot. It can, if you get a 3-up, if you get to within 6 inches and you get a 3-up to hit, you can put a super heavy onto a 6-up save, and if it fails, it dies. And you have accurate, so that's nice. I want to make one. I want to try it. I don't know what I'm gonna pair it with yet. I need to think about that. For the distance you have to get, though, I feel like I should get something. I feel like I should have an extra dice there. Yeah. Yeah. Beamers on your Warhounds to destroy buildings. Welcome to the chat, Legia Mortis. I destroyed a building yesterday. Not yesterday, Saturday. I destroyed a building, and it was not intentional. It was not intentional, and you'll see it in the Thursday's battle report. You'll see it. It's good. D6 damage for the claw and shock lance, and it would still be bad. D6 damage just always feels like pain too. That's or maybe I'm thinking of D3 damage, but like it always feels terrible. I think if you gave it Engine Killer, it'd still be pretty bad. Maybe if you gave it Engine Killer 2. But then it's still like, okay, so I can run up and bash something, but like, God, they're only speed 7. If they were faster, if Warhounds were faster, maybe that would be more, maybe it'd be more forgiving. It's just not. The Conversion Beam Dissolutor that's a pretty good weapon, I think. I think you're paying 300 points at that point. The problem is getting the thing. You're paying 300 points to blow up a building. And honestly, get it on a Warhound. Get it on a Direwolf. Get it on a Direwolf and use it that way. Legio Mortis, have you tried it on a Direwolf? You only use it on Warhounds? I blew up a building easy with a Direwolf. And it was full of Space Marines, and they did not make it. One of them survived. So, I hope that they rebalance some of those weapons. I don't know if the Volkites need increased range. I think on Warlords, maybe on Warlords, if you increase the range on Warlord, that I could see happening. It's a bigger gun, but the ones on the Warhounds, I think that's fine. I think it's fine that they have a shorter range and everything. I need to paint up here. Yeah. So paint doesn't look like that. I'm gonna have to. Reaver weapons, I think are fine. I think part of the balance for Titans is probably they need to be able to like walk into engagement range with smaller things and be able to use those melee weapons. Like you need to be able to shoot and stab in the same turn. And if you can't do that, then Titan melee weapons are just bad. Um, I mean, okay, John used it to blow up a building, and that was awesome. But I mean, I don't know that that was, was that the best use? It was needed in that turn, but like, is that going to be the best use for the thing? Because you're not always going to have the need to blow up a building, and unless you just have to design the table around it, I think. And is that I don't know. Not so sure. Not so sure on that as a tactic. Uh, if I could, if you guys are enjoying this, don't forget to hit like if you haven't already subscribed. I do appreciate the support, and that is what doing those things does for me is support me. Also commenting. I love the comments. Love that we're having a nice, good discussion here. A little bit of back and forth. If you get any more questions or comments, or just want to say hi, please feel free. The comments are always open. Also, if you're interested, I have a Discord. It's small, but it's got other people playing the game, and you can join that too. I can get you a link to it. I don't know how to set it up so that it's just a permanent link. I need to look back into that. I think I tried at one point, and Discord was like, "No, you don't have enough. You don't have enough people in here to do that. So this is the best you get is a temporary link." Oh, you're still here for? It looks like it's gonna. It looks like it's gonna rain, and I thought I heard it raining just a second ago. I would like it if all Titans got a 2-inch move that they could engage or disengage with at the end of a movement. Ooh, that'd be nice. Why not just add 2 inches to their movement? Are you essentially just adding 2 inches to their movement and saying that they can also engage? Or does it somehow change? Does it somehow change that it's 2 inches at the end of the movement that they can engage or disengage with? Does that change things? Having a Koopa. Still painting infantry. They seem endless when this small, but you finish 20 at a time. So oh yeah, dude, the first like 2 or 3 colors that you're painting on things this size, it feels just tedious and exhausting, right? And then like you hit a point where it's like this is looking like once I start getting to the gold on these guys, they're gonna feel like they're so close to being finished, and it's just gonna like skyrocket in speed. Like this part here is tedious and annoying and very dislikable. After all movement, okay, so all movement happens for both sides, and then you go back and you do Titan engagement moves. Essentially, that's what you're saying. I'm down for that. Would it be in addition to regular? Would it be only for engaging? or disengaging? Like, could I use it to? Could I use it? Would it wouldn't be usable for like a warhound to just have 9 inches of movement, or a max of 16 inches of movement if he marched? I like it. I like it. I'd like to see something like that. We'd probably have to wait until like a second edition for that. So send out a quick text. All right. Cool. Oh, I was about to say, I was supposed to make a phone call. Oh, I gotta remember, I got an hour left. Now for a quick second, I remembered I had a phone call I was supposed to make, but I already made that phone call yesterday. Haha, I'm ahead. I don't like this. Yeah, first fire and shuffle a little. But I guess my question is like, is it only usable? Is it only usable for Is it only usable to get an engage? No, okay, you answered my question. Never mind. Sorry, forgive me. All right, there you go. Music's back. This sounds very much similar to the last one. Yeah, Titan's definitely, something. There's probably more than one way to do it, but something like that where they can get, they've got these big calves and they need some way to use it. I'm working on. I built up some more Leman Russes, so that I can prime them on a day where the weather is nice, and I left these off because these are a pain to paint. So I've left them off, and I will paint them separate. And I think that'll speed things up here. But maybe not speed them up enough. Mm-hmm. Gonna be playing John again this weekend. Gonna play John again, and I'm wondering what we should plan on playing. Maybe I should take some aircraft. Maybe. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we do more Titans. I think we do another big Titan battle, as we've been doing. And this time I bring some aircraft and maybe some Arvis lighters to kind of kick his butt into gear on he needs to bring some aircraft of his own. He needs to get some more aircraft done because right now all he has is like 2 fire raptors, and that does not make for a lot of aircraft support. There we go. Now it's raining. I knew it was going to happen. I only have a couple of Titans, but I have a question for those that have more. Do you give them names? That is a great question. So, I have named 2 of mine. I've named Ursa Helianthos, but I can never remember if it's Ursa Helianthus or Helianthus Ursa. I should probably figure that out. And then I have the Black Knight, which is my warlord with twin Bellicosa volcano cannons. I thought I had a name for my Sinister, and I realized I didn't like it. So I'm back to not having a name for my Warlord Sinister. I also don't have a name for the Direwolf or the 3 Warhounds I have, or the Reaver. What I should do is I should post a community vote. Well, I don't know how I'd do it as a community vote though, because I would need options for them to vote on. But yeah, I should do something for that. Let's see. Oh, my goodness. I apparently painted silver all over the place on this thing. So now I'm having to paint silver all over the place on these things. Curse my attention to detail. Sorry for plugging a friend's business. What friend's business? Did I miss something? I don't see where you plugged your friend's business, but okay. What's your friend's business? Did I miss something? All right. I don't think so. Hey, plug me to your friend. There you go. That solves that problem. It rained really hard for like 10 seconds and then it stopped. We got any new members in here? We got any new people, first timers joining in, watching, listening, waiting? Don't be shy. Say hi. Am I ever going to paint my buildings in terrain? Yes, I'm going to paint my buildings in terrain. Right now, the only thing stopping me from painting them is the weather is really humid and muggy. And I kind of need better weather. It's raining right now, but I need better weather so I can paint them, so I can prime them. I also need to like figure out how I want to. I don't think I want to paint them all the same. I think I'd like to have a couple of them be like, oh, this building's red and this building's green, and that's fun, yay! But I think I also want to have like some of them be. I think I want the bulk of them to be like gray with white highlights, like dry brushing it up to a whitish color. Um, I am up for being persuaded on how to go about doing those. I also have I have some some more buildings I want to make, and I have some like idea for like rubbles and ruin and stuff that I want to make, and I kind of need to like I I kind of want to do it all at the same time, or at least like as one continuous thing, right? So how right now I'm doing these Leman Russes, and then I'm gonna do some Draxusons for the same army, and then so do it like an army where I go from one thing to the next to the next to the next. Does that make sense? So I kind of want to do that. I do want to paint them. I do really want to get to those. I just haven't yet been able to get to them. I need to finish. I need to finish them, right? Like I need to finish making them. I have some ideas for some like custom terrain stuff too, and I kind of want to do it all together. And it's just hard with time and everything. So right now, you can't see that at all. So over here, I have some Thunderbolts, some Medusas, 20 Leman Russes, including the 8 I'm doing right now, 4 Malcadors, 2 Baneblades, 6 Dracusons, 6 Rapiers, and a dozen Tarantulas, and 4 Cyclopses. I kind of want to finish all that before I go on to the buildings, but I really need to finish it because, like, people keep saying stuff about it, and I feel bad. I bet if all my terrain was finished, I'd probably have a whole bunch of people watching the videos the battleports because they'd be like, "Oh, look, all this terrain is finished, yay!" But I bet a bunch of people don't watch it because stuff's not finished, and they're probably like, "Oh, this is gross." So I do feel bad about it. Your voice is heard. I also am in like a really hot and muggy and bad temperature place for trying to prime things, so I need to figure that out. So maybe what I'll do is I'll continue building everything, and then hopefully by the time it's the weather's good, and I'm actually running out of. I primed a bunch of stuff all at once. Listen to it go. You probably can't hear it. I primed a bunch of stuff all at once, and yeah, if you think it would help and other people are commenting that I should do it, then it probably would, which is just shameful to admit. So I prime a bunch of stuff in advance, and then I need to paint up here. I prime a bunch of stuff in advance, and then I start working on it. Well, the weather's not good, and I'm not able to prime anything. So I have, after these tanks, I have, what's right here? Yeah. I only have 4 Medusas left to do, and then I'm out of stuff that's primed. So what's going to end up happening is all my hobby time, you're going to see on live stream, I'm going to be, instead of me painting, here in a few weeks, it's going to be me building terrain, and not just buildings. Let me tell you, I got ideas. I'm going to take some, I'm going to go get another kit of, this doesn't count against my gray shame. I'm going to go get some aircraft, and I'm gonna crash them. I'm gonna build them halfway, and then I'm gonna break them, and then I'm gonna kit bash a kit against itself. I'm gonna bash it up, right? And I'm gonna crash it, and I'm gonna make some terrain pieces, some rubble, I'm gonna have all kinds of interesting little stuff, and maybe I'll make a video on how I do it, or maybe it'll be live streamed. Um, and I'm gonna paint all of this terrain together, and I'm gonna do it like that. I'm gonna make a few more buildings that are big sized buildings where I can stack them up and stuff, and have the cover for the Titans and stuff. Um, I'm gonna make some rubble. I'm gonna make some hills. I'm gonna make some. Hey, if the live stream cuts out, it's because it's thundering, but I don't lose power. I might lose internet, but I don't lose power. I got a generator. So if I do lose power, oh boy, that's a problem. So I'll have a memory loss issue right here. Yeah, I want to paint it. I'm gonna have hills, but it's not hills. It's gonna be buildings that are like collapsed down onto themselves and stuff, but they'll function as hills. I'm gonna do all kinds of stuff. I got ideas. I'm gonna do it all, and you'll get to see me painting it. You'll get to see me play on it. One day maybe I should have people come. I should invite people over to play. We'll do a grand prize sweepstake giveaway. Like they used to do in the days of old. What do you think? How should I? What would you? What would you like to see for the terrain? You just want it painted. How would you like them painted? What would you like? If this was up to you, what would you want painted on those? How would you want them done up? Mess that up. I'm gonna have some wrecked reavers, not reavers, wrecked direwolves, wrecked aircraft, wrecked tanks. Tanks might be a little bit harder. Aircraft, I feel like you can get a good number of like lightnings or even Arvis lighters, where wrecking them doesn't feel. I'll spend a little bit of money. I'll spend a little bit of money to make a nice piece of terrain. Tanks though. Tanks are kind of harder to get. Harder to get enough of to really feel like you're doing anything. Maybe a blown up super heavy or something, but I feel like I need more in my army list. So buying one to wreck kind of feels bad. Whereas I don't really. I might want 4 more Arvis lighters, and then I'm done. And then I'm good on them. So that leaves the other 4 for me to crash. If I buy a box of Stormhammers, I'm adding 2 more Stormhammers to my army. Tell you, the kids' swim class today, it ended just in time with the storm. Not just in time; it ended like an hour and a half ago. But I done on this one? Yeah. So let's do it like that. All right, man. Thanks for hanging out and chatting with me. Good luck on getting a warlord. Now, Evil Cuz, when you said plug in a friend's business, what were you talking about? Because I don't see any plugs. Maybe I missed it. Maybe it went over my head. I don't know what you're talking about there, though. Hmm. Oh, Battle Builder for the Titan nameplates? I don't see where you said that. No, it didn't come through. Your friend owns that? Let me take a look at this real quick. That's okay. Custom nameplates for miniatures. Oh, you know what? No, yeah, you didn't say that. So Pirate Roy, if you're trying to name your stuff, maybe that's where you need to go. Is it okay? So you type it out and then you put it on there. You know, that would help me with my my issue for the that would help me with my issue for trying to remember my Titans names. But I need help naming them first. I'm terrible at coming up with names, except for when it came to my kids. Which size would you use for Legion's Imperialis Titan? I think it would end up being larger than the base. How much does each one cost? That's my second question. $20 for 10? That's not bad. 10 custom names? Like, good for bonus. And they just say exactly what Lord Thingy there is going to get hit. Yeah. $20 for 10. That's not bad. Made in the U.S. I'm assuming made in the U.S. because you said $20. Oh, that's not. Yeah, that's the dollar symbol. Hey, if you guys haven't already, make sure you. Oh, made in the UK. Okay. Does $20 include shipping? If you guys haven't already, you wouldn't mind hitting the thumbs up, unless you want to tell me how you really feel. No, no, I missed the. So for some of them, here's how I wanted to look. Oh, not that one. Here's how I wanted to look. I didn't do the trim on that one either. All right, here's one where I've done the trim already. Um, so I that's silver. You can barely see. Um, I when I was going through, I came back and I was covering it up. I didn't want the blue to go all the way up. I wanted to stop there at that trim. And then I realized, you know what? I you know what? I didn't do that trim at all. Um, I don't need to put the black there because yeah, I don't need to put the black there because I'm going to be covering it with metallic anyway. So why bother with it? So I think only like one or two of them. Yeah, yeah, two or three of them. I didn't cover it up with the. I didn't cover it up with the black because I'm gonna do it metallic. Um, but the rest I wasted time on. Fancy packs and kittens. Fancy packs and kittens. Am I saying that right? Hey, how's it going? Welcome back. Oh, we're on this side. Tomorrow I gotta spend the entire day working on the putting together the video that I filmed Saturday. Which I don't know what I did wrong. I had a short for it where Star was saying how confident she was that she was going to win because she's got more tanks, and I had that automatically post yesterday, and then oh, I'm stoked for it too. We were talking about we were wish listing what we think, wish listing and hoping what we think is going to be coming. So feel free to share that with us. What you think's coming. Um, but so the the short of her saying that she was going to win because she's got more tanks, I posted that, and then it automatically posted. And then sometime after that, I made the short saying, "Hey, we're going to be starting this live stream early, and we're gonna be starting it early, so be there. And for whatever reason, the short of her saying that she's gonna win got like 30 something views, and then kind of dropped off. And then the one that I posted right after it got like 700 views. It's probably gone. Both numbers have probably gone up a little bit since then. But it's like it kind of feels like I cut my own legs out from under me where I did that. Let me see if I can pull it up. Maybe. Um, yeah, so she got her video got 55 views, and then mine got the second one got 818, which usually they do a lot better than that. I think it's because I posted them right after one another. But I don't know. Not sure. Not sure what happened there. I don't know how all this stuff works. I only recently found out how to do the picture in picture. So you feel like Custodes? Not that it's your wish list, but you realistically feel it would be. Just following what HH. Yeah, I think Custodes could be a good. I think there's a good chance for it. I'd also say that there could be. It's a good chance that it's very likely, very possible that we see infantry kits, infantry 2.0 kits for everybody. Either of those would be good. I would be happy with either of those. We will see. More spider bots. I'd like that. And, oh man, if they make spider bots, I'm gonna need to get spider bots for my mechanicum. If they do infantry, I'm gonna need infantry for my mechanicum. I'm gonna need infantry for my solar. I'm gonna need. Oh man, it sounds like if they do any number of things, it's gonna be very expensive for me. They have an apothecary. They have an apothecary model. What do you mean if they had an apothecary model? It's in the. It's on the command base. Let me see if I can pull it up. Check it out. I learned some new stuff. I figured out how to do some new things. So let me see. Let me see if I can do this the way I want to do it, the way I think it's going to work. No, not that box. Give me this one. You can barely see him, but I'm pretty sure. All right. Let me see. Let me try it this way. I think. Hold on a second. You know what? It's right here. I believe there's an infantry sprue in here. Yeah, I got a new camera. Hey, Toby. And I figured out how to set it up and do everything. Don't forget, guys, if you could be so kind, hit that thumbs up. So, let's see here. Here we go. There he is. Okay, right here. That's an apothecary. That fist is the little chain fisty looking kind of thing. He's got the robes, and that's the little flashlight, little operating flashlight that he's got on the top. Yep. That's the infantry sprue. The infantry box. Yep, just paint him white or something. He doesn't stand out very much in the Death Guard colors. He just kind of is sitting there, and kind of whatever. He's kind of in the same colors. Because here he is right there at the bottom right, and he looks just like anybody else. There he is again up there. He looks just like everybody else. Not really. Yeah. Until somebody starts, you need once you see somebody painting him in like Ultramarines colors, where suddenly he's white and everyone else is blue, you don't really notice him. Imperial Fist. I think you can kind of paint him however you want, but those colors are always. I believe I've seen him in white in those armies. I don't know what to do with him as a white scar or as a World Eater. What do you do? Just paint him all red, paint him all blue. Everyone else is white and he's not. Dark Angels, black and red, hell of a standout. Yeah, you gonna paint him white then? Well, hopefully you haven't already painted him. All right, where was I? Well, we got a bunch of people in here now. Now the party's really getting started. Make him stand out. Yeah. Command base. Okay, you went and looked it up yourself. Toby, what's up? Not a new camera. Technically the same camera. It's just now I'm using my computer camera, which kind of looks... I'm using the computer camera, which kind of looks a little bit potato. I spent 2 hours before the video looking up how to do picture-in-picture. I had a computer camera. I got the phone camera, up here that you're looking at through right there. And I was like, how do I do this? How do I make this work? Oh, no worries. No worries. I'm being new to the game. Everyone's new sometime. For apothecaries, they get attached to command bases. I thought they attached to tech. No, the command squad, originally when the game came out, command squads had the apothecary rule to them. They made the apothecary an attachment to tactical squads that you can add. They made them a 10-point upgrade later later on. I'm not sure exactly when. That might have been something they did in the Liber Strategica. I think that's when they did that. Mechanical starter box. Party's going. Which party are we talking about? What party did I tell you guys about? The did I tell you guys about the party I went to Saturday? Is that what was that Saturday? I guess it was Sunday. I think it was Sunday I went to a party. Um, it was good. It was nice. Nice little Father's Day thing. Um, I don't remember saying anything about it though. Uh, uh, it's how bad my memory is sometimes. Um, it was nice. A couple of dads in the neighborhood. Um, I live in a nice little neighborhood where we all kind of get together and chat and stuff. I don't share a lot of hobbies or interests with them. Um, but a bunch of us have kids. Many of us here have kids, um, roughly the same age. In fact, four or it would be five of us, but one family is moving, so they're gonna not start. They're gonna delay a bit on schooling. Um, but yeah, four of us have kids that are starting school at the this year. Um, and the joke is that if they're all in the same class, which there's only four teachers for kindergarten, if they're all in the same class, it's gonna be hell to pay. Um, they will get in trouble because they are up to some mischief. So should be fun. Um, if that's not the party I told you guys about, the party before that was like last weekend, the previous weekend. That was my dad's birthday. That was a good party too. Different kind of party. I would say this party I went to Sunday was more of a gathering of neighbors, kind of a potluck. I'd say it was potluck, more of a party for the kids. Kids had a good time. Um, yeah, hard times for the kids. No, my dad actually went and got a bounce house and stuff for him. So it was his birthday, but knowing uh, he had my kids coming, and then one of his friends got a couple of his friends have kids. So and then my brother came with his daughter. So they got a bounce house with a slide. So that was fun for the kids and everything. Um, it was a long drive. It was a 5 hour drive for me to get up there, and then immediately turn around and do another 5 hours back uh, the next day. But we stopped at the Marine Corps Museum on the way. That was fun. They've added a bunch to it since the last time I was there. Unfortunately, my kid had an ear infection the entire time, so he was miserable until we did what he wanted to do, and then he was having the time of his life. Vision's a little blurry there. All right. All right. I think we're done on that one. I think I got everything this time. I think this is the second time I've painted that guy and said, "Yep, that's everything." Same for this one. I need to keep an eye on the time. I have to go. I have to be somewhere in 45 minutes, but it's nearby, so I have to leave in 30 minutes. Or I have to end the stream in 30 minutes so I can go. A little bit longer stream. I think the longer stream is probably better. I think 2 hour stream is just kind of short. I'm trying to hit people, trying to catch people in multiple time zones. Um, I do another. I wouldn't. Most of this live stream is probably for people not in the U.S. just because they're all at work and stuff still. Everyone else is getting off. The rest of the world's getting off and going to be going to bed by the time they get off and can watch. But I do a separate live stream for them and get more painting done, but I don't have the time. I feel kind of bad about it. I'm glad everyone could make it. Glad those that could make it made it. Love getting to chat with everybody, talking to people all around the world. It's that's the nice thing about the digital age. We can be more connected. Talk about this hobby that we all love together. Yeah. Well, and normally you'd be so that'd be an hour and a half into the stream, and now it's going to be an hour and a half before the stream ends, or an hour and a half after the stream ends, because I gotta go to physical therapy, trying to get my knees fixed. The chemo. I was laid up in bed for like 4 months from chemo, and when I went back to work, my knees were like, nope, we can't do this. And I was really hoping that what would end up happening is I would end up, I'm still physically active. You only see me in this chair, but I go and I walk every day, and I'm at work almost every day. And I work far too much. And I'm bending down and I'm lifting things, and I would figure, okay, I'm doing these things, my body will recover. And it has not done that. My knees have not recovered at all. So I get to go to physical therapy today in about half an hour. And then I can finally get started on. And like, I've been afraid to do stuff. Like, part of me is thinking, like, maybe I need to run. Maybe I need to just maybe I need to go and start like sprinting and stuff, or go for a little jog or something. But I haven't done that because I've been afraid. Like, is that too much? Am I gonna damage something irrevocably and mess things up? So I've kind of I've kept it to the walking. And like, I started trying to squat and stuff, but like, I stopped doing it. And here soon, I'm gonna have to go and get surgery, and have they cut me open to put a port in for the chemo. So I'm gonna have surgery to remove the scar. There's a big scar there where they took the port out, but because the chemo makes it so your body doesn't heal properly, so there's all this scar tissue that, like, it's a big mass of scar tissue, and it's nasty. And I say it's nasty because it doesn't let me, like, when I try to pull back, I can feel it pull. And when I try to come up, I can feel it pull again. So it's kind of like, I don't care how it looks. I tell everyone I got stabbed by a bear. But, I could have a nice, fun little manly story that doesn't, as a joke. Mess with people and tell them that, I survived a shark attack. I don't know. And point is, I don't care how it looks, but then I realized that it does not feel good, and I do not like it. And I thought they were just gonna, when they took it out, they didn't sedate me, local anesthesia or whatever, so I didn't feel it. I thought it was gonna be the same for them taking it out, and It is not. They have to like completely sedate me. So you've got a jab in the hand with a slow drip. I had so for the first week, I did. I don't know what your chemo is. If you want to share, you can. I did 4 cycles, and the first 5 days of each cycle was them putting roughly into here, and you can't see it as much anymore, but like it burned out the vein. And they gave it some name, and they were like, "Yeah, this will mess up all your veins, and we might." I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. That's it. No more. It won't go. I won't do more than 3. For the first week, they were jabbing in here, and then they switched into here like a few days in. And they're like, "Yeah, this is gonna mess up your veins, and we might have difficulty finding your veins in the future, and you might be hooked up to this machine, and we might have to stop to find a better vein because this, this stuff is gonna burn up your veins, and it's gonna destroy them." And at first I was like, "Oh, it's fine." And then I did that first week, and I was like, "Hey, schedule me to get a port put in because I can't do this." So the port was in my chest, and it made it super easy because all I had to do was stab the needle into this like guide point, and it went straight into the thing. And which the port's here, but the scar's here, but it was stabbing into here. And they so they just had to stab it in, and then there's a cord that was going up into my neck, and there's another incision up here where they had the cord going down, coming back down and heading this way. And it's very short. I thought it was going to be longer. It was only like, from here to here, it was like that much longer, right? So there's a little bit of it going in there, and it was and that vein's thicker, so it could take the load of the chemo. And it could take the load without getting ripped up like everything else. What am I trying to say? Oh, and it was very tight. Like I could see like a tent. Like if you had a tent on a string where you can see the tension and everything, I could see it. And I'm very freaked out. Like I couldn't look around. I really should take better advantage of the fact that I can turn my head around now. So it was very kind of scary in a way. It was very uncomfortable to sleep with and everything. I didn't like it. I got it out as soon as I could, and that's why I need to have the scar revised or something. I can't remember what the word was that they used, but yeah, the chemo I got, it gave me. I wasn't hooked up for 8 hours. It did feel like a very long time. It might have been like 4 to 6 hours, but it was, 5 days a week, and it could have been worse because I could have if my iron levels had dropped, then they would have had to hook me up for iron and stuff too. So 20 sessions of this stuff. And it gave me neuropathy. I have this numb feeling in my hands and my toes. Not fun. Not fun. And in my mind, I was like, this is hell. This is what hell is like. People imagine pitchforks and stuff. No, this is so much worse. And I was in there, and there were people that were there every Friday, and they'll be there every Friday for the rest of their life. And I was like, oh, that is awful. And I was telling the nurse, I was like, I can't do that. Don't make me do that. And they're like, well, they're here for different stuff. You don't have to worry about that. I feel really bad for those guys. Because I couldn't function. I couldn't function at all for 5 days after. Hey, thanks for coming. Don't forget to hit thumbs up. I'll see you next time. I am also glad that I'm here and streaming with you. Have a good day. Whatever it is you got to do. Work. Have a good have try to have fun at work. What was your cancer? If you want to share, you don't have to share. They asked me if I wanted to keep the port when they took it out. They're like, hey, do you want to keep this? I was like, no, throw it away. I don't want to see that thing again. But now I'm kind of like, I could, I could, if I had kept it, I could have shown it to people. But it's just junk, right? It's just trash at that point. At this point, there's a bit of a memento to it. But like, I'm glad I didn't keep it. I'd just be keeping it to have this piece of junk and stuff. So I am definitely distracted live streaming and painting. Like I'm reading everything and I'm distracted and I'm trying to talk and I'm distracted and I'm like, oh, let's look stuff up. Let's talk about these stats on Titans and stuff and look them up. Um, Definitely distracted. But if I wasn't doing the live stream, I think I'd be like interrupting myself to be on my phone a whole bunch and uh, wouldn't really it wouldn't be any better. I think I'm probably less distracted because I'm incentivized to stay on focus and painting. Yeah. Clip, clip, clip. Another 20 Wii paints guys off the sprue with bases pre-done. I'm seeing a fair bit of fast progress. Awesome. What am I doing to this? Oh my goodness. I've been painting. I've been painting this little bit here, and ignoring that, I'm supposed to be painting all around it too. Oh, I'm supposed to be painting all around it too. You can barely see it. So all the three tanks I've finished aren't even. I've finished this color for. I'm not even finished with this color for because I spent all that time trying to be careful and diligent, and it turns out I needed to be a little bit. I wasn't being careful and diligent in the right area. That is terrible. Now there was a point in the chemo, like the first day, the first weekend was hell. Where I thought the thought crossed my mind where I was like, why? Like, what's the point? What's the point in continuing? Why do I even Why do I even spend my money on the models and stuff? Like, there's no value. There's no joy to this. During chemo, I lost my love for Warhammer. I lost my joy for painting models. Um, it was so awful. Easily the hardest thing I've ever done. What got me through it, food. I couldn't eat while I was on chemo, and my reason to fight through it and to continue, I couldn't eat well. Right, I was eating like crackers and soup and stuff, which I love soup. I love crackers, but it was like all I could have. Um, and even then, it was like difficult. Like it was slow eating. It was like, oh, it was bad. But I lost a bunch of weight too. Uh, my sole reason to stay alive was so I could eat good food again. Treatment was to counter some horrendous drugs that were fighting a blood infection. It was a weird three-way fight. Jeez. Was it like a was it like a 5 days a week thing, or was it like a 1 day a week kind of deal? Yeah, I think when I first got the cancer, I think I said, I don't want to talk about this too much. I don't want to talk about this much. And at the time, I thought all that was going to happen was I was going to have surgery and it was going to be done. I did not know that it was going to keep going once a week over a month, and then again 6 later. Oh, okay, yeah, I think that's probably why the after effects, the side effects and stuff of like all the nasty side effects are probably like, and that's why you were doing it for 8 hours a day too. They couldn't keep me hooked up that long, um, because they were going to be coming back the next day and everything. I had the option to do less treatment if I had there's three parts to the chemo, like three chemicals, and one of them would have had some pretty serious side effects on like damaging my lungs, is what the doctor said. And he was like, do you do cardio? Do you want to like run and stuff and do like, you know, like have a fit life still?" And I was like, yeah. He's like, okay, then we probably don't want to do that one because it's gonna like tear up your lungs and damage them. So we'll do instead of doing three sessions, three treat cycles with two, instead of doing three cycles with with three different drugs, we'll do four cycles with two different drugs. We'll cut out one of them, and it's like PEB. So instead of doing PEB, I did like PB or PE or something. I don't know. Um, I was taking. I was. They had personal TVs. No one had any of them on. I was taking my Nintendo Switch and I was playing Zelda Breath of the Wild for the first 4 days. And on the fourth day, I couldn't. I didn't feel good. I wasn't feeling good, and I was kind of like feeling a little sick. And I didn't even try to play it ever again. So I recently started playing again, and it's been a year. Um, uh, 14 days. In 14 days, it'll be a year since I started. And then I've finished since, but like since that start point. Once a week, room has an internet plug and a Wii personal TV. Take your Xbox Pass to the time. Do you still go? Are you still in treatment? I couldn't paint. I couldn't. I didn't do much of anything for like, So I'd go Monday through Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday. That first time, I was dead, and then it wasn't until like Wednesday that I started to like feel alive again. And even then, I was very like stunted or whatever. Um, so like Thursday, I started trying to play like on my Xbox. And I started trying to play games with my son, and he had just had his tonsils taken out. Um, and then like that was kind of this. I didn't I didn't do much but like lay down. Knocked over some sepatone with knowing and freaked out the nurse. Had a good laugh after, but took a second or two to figure out where the fluid came from. Treatment on God. Damn, that sucks. Um, I've never done this one. Um, You had a friend that like sent me bought me some soup. DoorDashed me some soup. And it was really hard because like I wasn't able to work. I wasn't able to work for that time. And I wasn't it wasn't even like I was on vacation either, because like I couldn't enjoy it. I couldn't paint the entire time. I think there was a point towards the end where I like started trying to paint. The Warbringer, not the Warbringer, the War Master. This was the next thing I painted right here. This little guy, big guy. Little screen. Boom. Oh, that's terrifying. Terrifying me close. And I keep breaking its crotch. So I keep trying to pick it up. Yeah, I thought about it. I was like, dude, I'm gonna be there for hours. I wanna paint and stuff. That would have been that would have been a productive use of time. I didn't get nothing done for time. And there was so much I could have gotten done. And it was like the entire summer. Well, 2/3 of the summer, I guess. Yeah, it's so much time doing that. How much longer do you get treatment for? Hey, go for a painting. How are you doing today? Awesome. We will. Are you leaving? Just coming in to say hello? So, it'd be nice if there was like a. Hmm, no. I'm guessing he had to go. So I suppose I should finish the last bit of tactics for the Titans. Discuss the last Titan that we haven't discussed yet. Uh, because we talked about the rest. We didn't really hit much about the Sinister. Because it's the Warlord with extra weapons. They're great. They're awesome. It gets to heal. Uh, yes, get one. If you're not a trader, get a Sinister. If you are a trader, see if your opponent will let you run it as a demon engine. I don't know. It's probably fair. That's probably a fair thing to do. I would. I'm hopeful that they will one day come out with Demon Titans, Demon Engine Titans. I think that would look really cool as official things, as things with rules. Um, I'm hopeful for a lot of things though. You know, maybe that'll be the new release. Maybe that'll be the new thing that they're going to talk about Friday. We'll see. Um, that brings us to the War Master Titans. There are two of them. One has close range guns, close range weapons. Sorry, close combat weapons, which makes it much harder to use um, because for for 800 points, 850 points, you really want to get into close combat, and you only have a 6-inch move to do so. Engine Killer 2, Reach, and Rend. That'll mess up a line of super heavies real quick if you can get to them though, and most of them are faster than you. Um, it's also pretty nasty against infantry, I guess. With a CAF 18 and rend on two of its weapons, so that's pretty good, I guess. Um, uh, but yeah, aside from that, you're really uh, you're really looking at it. Also has like record 13, so it's just gonna. I don't know what you do with record 13 that you can't do with record 2, um, but you can put you get a couple of gun options on this, and it does have some guns. It does have some guns. The circulator Gatling array and the Kyrus grav imploder. So 24-inch, basically a 24-inch 14 shot um, uh, Vulcan mega bolter essentially, but with shred. So that's nice. And then you have the grav imploder has quake. It's only 6 inches though. It's really short range. Ignores cover and demolisher. Um, Not a blast weapon, so it has you're only hitting two targets, but you're only getting two shots, but it's 6 inch range, so it's just not it's not going to go very far, but it's going to stop somebody from running away from you. Um, but then you get a couple of and then there's the defensor guns, right? Yay. Um, then you have a choice between two weapons. It can choose to have the same weapons or have them be different weapons, and it's the same thing for the heavy battle Titan War Master. But it's essentially Warhound weapons, right? Plasma blast gun, Vulcan mega bolter, Inferno gun, turbo laser destroyer, but then also Apocalypse missile launcher or missile array and the melta cannon, um, which are not Warhound weapons. Um, I tell you that melta cannon with two shots, that's how the one for the Warhound should look. Um, but you got hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm finishing up right now. You get to choose between two of those, and really, that's the only choice you get in this. And I'd probably look at it the same way as I look at the heavy battle titan. Uh, and I'd say the the plasma blast gun is my top choice out of the four of them, because you have to get close, or six of them really. You have to get close. You have to get close to make use of the thing you're paying points for. The thing you bought is uh, the two melee weapons. You need to get close so that you can use those, and the plasma blast gun gives you the most shots up close to do something with. Um, so you can hurt some tanks before they try to run away from you. You could also take the melta cannon because you are going to be getting close. But the problem with that is if you're trying to fight a Titan, then you're not going to be able to use the melta cannons. Um, it's a good option. Or you take something that has more range to it so that you can shoot it while you're getting close. But if you're not getting close enough to use the rest of your guns on turn one, if you're not getting close enough to use your 20-inch guns, your 20 and 24-inch guns, you probably want to march anyway, and then you don't get to shoot anyhow. And if you're, so that's probably, you should probably just do that. Anyway, I gotta go to an appointment. I gotta just physically POMs and make them strong and work again. So that is going to be all the time we have for today. I appreciate everybody who came by to show their support, everybody who stopped in just to say hello. Mind you, you won't know that I'm appreciating you right now unless you end up watching this again. But if you have, then you'll know that I am even more appreciative that you stopped to watch the entire thing. And if you're watching this later on, that's cool too. I'm very appreciative of much appreciation to everybody. First time with the picture in picture, awesome. Loving having two cameras. I have to pay attention to what I'm doing now. I can't just throw up gang signs the entire time. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you all next week. Look forward to that new battle report that's going to be coming out this Thursday. Me versus Star, Titans versus Tanks. It's awesome. You're not going to expect to. You aren't going to have any idea who wins. And I will see you all next time. This has been Eagle Spire Gaming. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. If you haven't, subscribe. And I will see you all next time. Cheers.